Hey, while you in the first 5 seconds of the video, go ahead, like and subscribe.
It's some of our brothers out here that don't care about nothing. That don't feel like they worth anything. So when I see another brown face, I don't care. I don't care about me. So that's why I said start with the history first. You got to know where you come from. If I know me and you royalty, me and you come from greatness, I can't kill greatness. I can't punch greatness in the face and try to take out of your pocket, rob you, hurt you, because I know what you come from. But if we don't got no value, it's like, I don't care nothing about that dude. Who was that over there on the bus stop? I'm hungry. I need something. I'm going to take from him. So that's why the brothers is like that. That's why we here. We don't just come here in the barbershop. We go everywhere. Neighborhoods, community events, and we talk to the brothers. So I got a question. Who is the Bible written to? Is it written to everybody?
I would think so.
You say you would think so? Supposed to. Anybody else? This open.
I don't feel it's written to everybody. I don't. But
You don't feel like
I feel
it
it's
is?
supposed to. They tell us that, but I don't think it is.
Okay. Anybody else? Want to hear from everybody? Guess what? Believe it or not, I thought that. That's what they say in church. Got brothers coming in. That's what they say in church. They say this book for everybody. But when you go in it, it says otherwise. Get 1 and 1. What's going on, brother? What's going on? Make sure y'all get brothers some flyers. What's going on? What's going on, brother? So we're going to go into the Bible and see what it says. Because I thought that too until I seen it with my own eyes. Read that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan in the wilderness.
Did everybody hear that? Who did it say he was talking to? One more time.
These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan in the wilderness.
Y'all heard that? It didn't say he was talking to everybody. That's Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1. It said Moses was speaking to all Israel. So that's the audience of the book. That's the audience of the Bible. And we're going to go to the New Testament too. We're going to see where all the confusion come in. But that's the audience. So when we hear in church, oh, it's for everybody. That's a lie. So let's go back. What else did he say to Israel? Read that. Back to 15.
Y'all agree, y'all?
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
So he's telling the Israelites, if you don't listen to God, read.
to observe, to do all his commandments.
How many commandments y'all ever heard it was? 10. It's more than 10. That's why I'm telling y'all. That's why we encourage brothers. Read for yourself. It's more than 10. 10, that's just the big 10 as we quote. But it's many other commandments. Lord's will, we're going to be able to touch them with y'all. Read.
To do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So Moses told the Israelites, if you don't listen to God, all these curses will come upon you and overtake you. What's a curse?
Depends on who you ask.
You say, depends on who I'm asking. What's a curse though?
Well, they tell you a curse is something bad, something that you can't control.
Exactly.
But it all depends on who you ask. What's up?
Curse is something bad. Remember that. Remember that. What's your name, bro?
Milo.
Milo.
Yes, sir.
Remember that, Milo. Curse is something bad. Remember, you just said that. You're absolutely right. Read on.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Everybody heard that? It just said, cursed will you be in the city, and cursed will you be in the field. Remember what I spoke about first. If those people in Tel Aviv are the Israelites, they supposed to be going through these things. The Bible said the Israelites would be cursed in the cities that they live in. When you look at the people in Tel Aviv, are they cursed in the cities that they live in? Go to Skokie. Bro, they got a whole community. You ever roll through Skokie? Bro, house is beautiful. Grass cut. They kids can play outside.
Okay.
They not going through that. Read it one more time.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
Y'all have a good day. Everybody be safe.
Yes, sir. You got your flyer,
I
sir?
got it, brother. Yes, sir.
Make sure you read that.
Have a good day.
That said, curse shall thou be in the city. We just identified. People that say that they Jews, when we look at where they live at, they're not cursed in the city. They own, Milo said it, they are doctors. They are lawyers. One of them was the mayor a couple years ago. Yes, one of them was a mayor. Some of them own movie companies. They own who like music. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Like it, yeah, it's music. Who own the music industry? They do. Jimmy Iovine. I could go, the list goes on. Bernstein, Goldstein. That's all them. They're not cursed in the city. They live lavish. So what group of people is cursed in the city? We are. I don't care where we live at. Brazil, west coast of Africa, even in Europe. We ain't living in the best places in Europe. Wherever our people are, we are cursed in the city. How were we cursed in the city during history, though?
Well, what does that say? You said history. That's his story. It's all depending on who's telling you.
Right. If you telling a story, you can change it. But history is facts. When I get a history book, it's going to show me what happened during that time.
But that's still his story. You still reading something that somebody else put in there.
You still reading something somebody else put in there.
I'm just saying, like, it's you got to dig deeper in everything that you read because you're still reading something that somebody else put in there for you to hear. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion.
No, we want to hear y'all opinion. Yeah, we want to hear y'all opinion. So with history, right, you can't argue. If I say the blacks was in slavery in all 50 states, is that fact or fiction? That's fact. Ain't no arguing that.
Right.
We were slaves all over this country. I want to get some images. If you got your flyer, I know y'all cutting, so y'all can't really look like that. I'm going to go around. These is historical images. I'm finna go around and show y'all. Right? That's fact. Us getting lynched.
Yeah, what up, baby?
What's going on, bro? Us getting lynched. Us getting burned alive. That's fact. Emmett Till got murdered. That's fact or fiction? That's fact.
That's fact.
So I know we commonly be like, well, it's based off who tell it, and that's true because depending on who tell it, they'll leave stuff out.
Right.
Like for example, y'all ever heard of gator bait? Who's heard of gator bait? Like alligator, gator bait. Who's heard of that? Nobody? Gator bait is when they used to use our children as bait for alligators. They don't teach us that in school. You said, damn, they don't teach us that in school. They used to send to each other postcards that they made with our babies next to alligators and say alligator bait. That's what they don't show us. Whoever saw the book.
Example right here.
It's a book called Without Sanctuary. Whoever heard of that book?
I have not.
You have not? Look it up. In the book Without Sanctuary,
That's messed up.
it's hundreds of pictures of them taking pictures while we hung from nooses. They used to get together and take a family picture like, here's my wife, my son, and we dangling from the tree behind them. They used to do this stuff.
I believe it, man.
So when the Bible says the Israelites will be cursed in the city, that don't fit them people that say that they are Jews. That fit us. We was cursed in the city. We was on the run trying to run to freedom. The list goes on. Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner, all these people tried to rise up and wait and save us from freedom. Save us from slavery, I mean, so we could get to freedom. But none of them was able to do it. That's that curse that befell us. Even today, who live in the worst conditions? We do. Go downtown in the Loop. Where we live at don't look like that. No, you good.
I got grass up in my mouth.
Y'all understand that? Read that next part. What else would happen? Cursed shall I be in the city and what else?
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
Who was cursed in the field, brothers? Who was cursed in the field? We were. Is that fact or fiction? That's fact. We worked hours. Free slave labor. Didn't get paid nothing. A black man made that traffic light. Ain't get paid nothing. A black man made the cotton gin to produce the cotton. Didn't get paid nothing. This really happened to us. Cursed in the field. We still cursed in the field today because the amount of hours that we work and the amount of money we actually make, do we get that? They be talking about gross and net. I'm saying it right. The net is what you really made, but the gross is like this.
No, gross is what you made. The
Net
net is not
right. But we not getting, you really made that, what you looking at, but they giving you that much. They give you them little crumbs. So we still going through this. Again, the people that live in Tel Aviv, they don't suffer these things. We suffer these things. Give me verse 32. I'm just hitting key points.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Those people in Tel Aviv were their sons and daughters given to another people. No. I know people bring up the Holocaust. How long did that last? Roughly what, 5 years? How long were our sons and daughters being sold to other people? Centuries. In school they tell you about 16, 19. They really was buying and selling us all the way back in 1441. So you talking about 1441 all the way up, they was doing that to us. I want to get some imagery. That's them selling us. Right here, you got a white man examining a brother to sell him. This stuff really happened. That's why we brought pictures in here today. This stuff ain't made up. This fact. Y'all watch movies? Watch 12 Years a Slave. Watch Django. What Django was doing the whole movie? What was he trying to do? Say that again? And what happened to his wife? She got what? Branded. Sold. They sold him to another state and sold his wife to another state. How many times y'all think they did that to black families?
Over and over.
Over and over. Some of us in here could be cousins and we wouldn't even know it. Read that one more time.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So they sold children. What happened in Roots? How you doing, sir? What happened in Roots? Sold his daughter off. What did he do when they sold his daughter off? And these things we talking about, this is fact. This is history that happened. Again, the people that say they Jews didn't go through this. The things we reading, this is what the Jews would go through. Read.
And thy eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long.
We would cry. We couldn't do nothing about it. Read.
And there shall be no might in thy hand.
Did we have a military? No, we didn't have no military. We tried to fight a couple of times. Gable Prosser, Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Harriet Tubman. You also had the Native Americans. They tried to revolt a couple of times. Seminoles, they tried to revolt a couple of times. But we didn't have a military. Think about it. When U.S. soldiers get held hostage in these other countries, don't they send a force to go get them? Hey, no, we got U.S. citizens over there. They sent a whole force over there to go get them. When our children were getting taken, we couldn't do that. Read it again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand.
How else does that happen? Our children being taken from us. How else does that happen today? Exactly.
You say our children being taken from us?
Yes.
I mean, well, in my opinion, I appreciate you guys giving us a lot of history on our background, but we really need to be talking to these young brothers that's out here killing our own. That's taking, you say taking. We're taking young children, our own children, you know, from our own families, man, through all these shootings and killings and murders, man. Right now, I feel like we are our own worst enemy.
What you just said is true, and we're going to get to that. It first started with our history, because part of the reason brothers just blow each other head off, they don't see no value in each other. Right now, some of y'all, like I see y'all in here, y'all, I can tell some of y'all have a sense of some type of dignity about yourself. Because we all, brothers in here talking, we having a conversation about our people, our race, right? But it's some of our brothers out here that don't care about nothing. That don't feel like they worth anything. So when I see another brown face, I don't care. I don't care about me. So that's why I said start with the history first. You got to know where you come from. If I know me and you royalty, me and you come from greatness, I can't kill greatness. I can't punch greatness in the face and try to take out of your pocket, rob you, hurt you, because I know what you come from. But if we don't got no value, it's like, I don't care nothing about that dude. Who was that over there on the bus stop? I'm hungry. I need something. I'm going to take from him. So that's why the brothers is like that. That's why we here. We don't just come here in the barbershop. We go everywhere. Neighborhoods, community events, and we talk to the brothers.
Don't override nothing. You ain't paying attention.
It is systemic,
over there, man.
but it's for different variables. Number one, from the home.
Don't never do that no more, right?
The music, the
You
things
know,
that
I paid
people
executive
watch.
decision because you want to do your job.
You know, it's coming from
I'm talking
different
about
areas.
everything.
Right now, our people glorify violence. We glorify ignorance.
And where did they come from? What's your name, sir?
I'm tired.
Right.
I don't think I got your name when we first walked in. All that stuff that you just mentioned, Ty, who control all that stuff?
Well, I feel like if you have children, like I have a son right there, I feel like it starts at home. You can't blame the white man, blame other people if you're responsible for raising your child. So it starts most importantly
At
home.
At home.
Starts at home. You can't put it on nobody else.
Nobody.
And I ain't putting it on nobody else, because it starts at home. It starts with the parents. But I'm talking about who pumped that stuff out there. I'm a parent. I have to do the same thing. Don't watch this. Don't listen to this. But who pumped this stuff out into the media? Everything you just said. Yes, who put it out there?
Well, I mean, in terms of musical artists, I mean, that's a choice.
Who's
You have a
opening?
choice to make gangster music. You have a choice to be the sexy reds of the world and pump out all that ignorance, man, you know, representing black women in such a negative light. That's a choice. That's a choice. Yeah, the white man or the Jewish man might own the you know,
Record label.
yeah, the record label, but it's a choice. You chose to put out that type of music.
You chose.
So I feel like it's a lot of accountability that us as black people need to start taking. Self-accountability.
We do.
Can't be driving, taking your shorty to school in the morning, listening to Sexy Red. You know?
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
basically what he's saying.
But we
you know
can't. I ain't saying
It's a
wrong.
choice if you want to listen to Sexy Red.
Right.
Like
It
what
is.
they'll do every morning.
Damn. Oh man. But we can't neglect where it come from. So if we know that's getting pushed out, us as parents, we gotta step up.
Right, that's what he's saying.
Right.
It's a choice.
Where it started at first is knowing where we come from. Last one here, then I want to touch on some of the points that he's talking about. They valid points. Deuteronomy 28, verse 68.
There's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Anybody familiar with that history? The Israelites leaving out of Egypt. Anybody familiar with that? Right. You are. When they left out of Egypt, did they go back there? No. Read this.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
He said he's going to bring them into Egypt again, but how?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
What was the Israelites when they was in Egypt? What was their social status? Listen to what Moses just told them was going to happen if they ain't listen to God. Read that again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way, whereof.
Hold on. He said he's going to bring them back into Egypt with ships. They were slaves in Egypt. So what is he telling them right there? You're going back into slavery by ship. Who went into slavery on slave ships? We did.
What up, what up?
So that lets you know we are the Israelites. So we forgotten this. We forgot this history. We didn't even know this was in the Bible. When I first heard this, my mind was blown. I said, wow. So the reason we went into slavery was for what? Disobeying God. God had rules for us to follow and we ain't following. Get Jeremiah 17:4. You can walk around and show that.
You said 11. Was you leaving 11?
You can walk around and show that. That's the
slave trade.
The route of the
I
slave
said
trade.
11, bro. It's 11, it's 12.
Jeremiah 17.
slave trade, and you have the sub-Saharan slave trade.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage.
So it was already said, you're going to discontinue from your heritage. Do not the Chinese man have a heritage? What's his heritage? Kung Fu, rice, the little garb they wear, that's his heritage. The Russian man, he got his heritage. All races, they got a heritage. But he said we was going to discontinue from our heritage. We would forget our heritage, our way of life. When you see an East Indian, what they wear? They got the red dot on their head, they got the turban on, they got they food, they culture, the way they dress. The Bible just said the Israelites will forget all that. We think our culture is being a killer. We think our culture is selling drugs. We think our culture is being a pimp. Why is that? Read that again.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
So what's our heritage? Get Sirach 17 and verse 11. Let's see what our heritage consists of. Then I want to get into them commandments. Because these commandments is part of our heritage.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17, verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage.
Gave the Israelites the laws. Get Psalms 147, verse 19. So God gave the Israelites commandments. That's something else. The people in Tel Aviv say that they the Jews, but they don't follow none of these commandments we finna read.
The book of Psalms.
Hold on. They smoke, they drink, they own the record labels, they into all type of lewdness. So they not following nothing in here. They are not the Jews. Read.
The book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and judgments unto Israel.
So I wanted to go there, so we hit it. He gave the laws to Israel. His laws and statutes to Israel. Now what's some of the laws? Let's get some of them. First, let's get 1 Corinthians 15:33, evil communication. Because that's why the kids messed up. That's why we messed up in our minds from the stuff that's on TV, movies, music. But we can't forget who pumped that stuff out.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communication corrupt good manners.
So the Bible is telling you, if you're around evil long enough, what it's going to do to you? It's going to corrupt you. You could be a nice, male-mannered young man, but then if they take you and put you in Englewood and you in a neighborhood full of black disciples, how long you think it's going to be before that little boy become a black disciple? You get what I'm saying? If this all he see 24/7, they smoking around, they fighting around. Now they bringing hoes around.
That's why I gotta agree with Tyler, man. I feel it all depends on a lot of your upbringing too, man. You know,
Right.
somebody in your
Right.
I'm sorry, go ahead, dude, you got it.
I feel like how you just said that, right?
It don't matter about the parent at that point if you in that type of environment. Because right, they gonna make you be in the game. So what could you do? Your parents gotta get you out that neighborhood.
That's what I'm saying.
So if you got that money, if you got the money to move, then what can you do?
It all depends on your priority though, man. If you care about
You disagree with what I said?
yeah, you care about your kid, you gonna get the fuck about that. I'm sorry, you gonna get the
No,
fuck about
That's why I said you
that.
gotta get out the neighborhood.
That's why I said it depends on
It
your
ain't
upbringing,
always
man.
neighborhood, man.
Huh?
Hold on.
You can have a kid that live in the ghetto, man, and if you are raised the right way, man, you don't have to fall into those trappings, man.
What's your name, bro?
You call me Brian.
Brian. What you see right here, because we got multiple generations in here. You got y'all two, y'all more the older crowd, and then you got Brian. Brian probably a little older than me.
Yeah,
So,
he probably like 25.
so you gotta understand. So you gotta understand both sides.
Right.
I remember I was talking to a brother, right? He said he wasn't active. We was teaching the Bible. We seen him shake up. I'm like, bro, what you doing? And he kept talking about the young man don't listen. I said, bro, if they see you doing that, how are you credible? How are you credible? I told him, I said, bro, I'm from the younger generation, but I'm a little older. I understand how they feel. How can you tell him to do something and he see you shaking up? And he was in his 50s. You hear me? In his 50s, shaking up. So when you tell the shorty, hey, you ain't supposed to be doing that. He looking at you like, bro, you 50-something and I see you shake up. I see you smoke. I see you up here, you dropping pitchforks. I'm saying you do all this at 50 and you gonna come talk to me? You're not credible. So the young man need an example. That's why you can't always just jump on the young man where they learn it from. Usually when you ask that, it get quiet. It get quiet when you ask that. Read that one more time.
Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
So, the way you get that child out of that environment, you got to move it out. You have to. Because the things that Brian was speaking about, those are things that will happen. Believe it or not, that's actually how young men end up joining. Okay, they keep jumping on me because I live over here. I don't want to gangbang. They keep thinking that I'm from the other side. I'm not from no side. This is where I live at. This is where I go to school. But after a while, if he don't get out that environment, you know what? I'm finna go be a Blackstone. Y'all think I'm Blackstone. I'm not Blackstone, but y'all keep jumping on me. I might as well join. That's how some of that stuff happens.
That's how it goes.
Proverbs 22:6.
Thank you.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go.
Some of y'all heard this. We heard this before. That's why when Ty says it starts at home, it does start at home with the parent. Seriously though.
So even if you raise your kid, say the kid got their mom, daddy at home, they raise them the best way they can. But the environment thing is. Now, when they walk out that door, their mom and daddy ain't with them. So they got the gangs to deal with, they got the street route that they got to go to school with, they got all that to deal with. So even if you raise them right, they still, at some point, going to be a product of their environment that they got to deal with.
Exactly.
So how do they say no to that?
That's the thing.
Every day.
That's the thing right there. Read this again.
Train up a child in the way he should go.
So you teach them right. And we're going to talk about what you're supposed to teach them. You're supposed to teach them, then what?
And when he is old, he will not depart from
You
it.
teach him, and then he's supposed to remember those things, but it's going to be trial and error. You're not going to be with him when he got to say no. You're not going to be with her when she got to say no. They got to know. They got to be out there.
And you also ain't going to be with him when he getting bullied. And you also ain't going to be with him when they whooping his ass so they at that school every day looking for him because he don't want to be BD. Chasing him home. You also ain't going to be there when he getting embarrassed in front of the whole school. What kid want to go through that, bro? You got to either move out of the neighborhood or you got to deal with it. Your child is going to get bullied every day. And then once you go try to protect your child, you going against a gang now. So they going to whoop all y'all ass. They whoop your whole, I saw it. I saw this.
Right.
Many a time.
Right.
So I know what I'm talking about. So that's what I was just trying to tell my big brother over there, Sammy Davis Jr.
But you making it seem like that's the only situation in the whole city. I'm just telling you that it's different situations. You going from your point of view, from what you've been through, what you've seen. I'm saying that there's other situations too. That's all I'm saying.
So what situation you say you got?
I moved right smack in the middle of all that shit. I got bullied for a minute. I got tried to recruit to that shit. My parents stepped in the middle of that shit.
Right,
They said no.
so they made a different avenue for you. So basically they probably drove you to school now. You ain't got to walk past them no more.
I still walk.
So what your parents gonna do? They would have talked to the gangs and said, hey, don't mess with my
They
son.
stepped in that
And
shit.
they left you alone.
They stepped
See,
in
that
that
don't
shit.
happen to a lot of people. So
That's what I'm trying to tell you, that you ain't the only 30 for 30. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, that's every day I'm talking about. Like, your parents can't be with you every day, right?
That's what I was saying.
At some point, Marlo got to go to school. At some point, Marlo got to come home.
And I made the decision.
Without them.
Okay.
And I bet you some point Marlo moved too, didn't you? Did you move?
No, I stayed there all to my junior year. I stay right across the street from the leader of that shit.
He went around the corner.
You
walked the other way.
All I'm
But-
saying is that this is a big city. All I'm saying is just that you giving one side of the story that a lot of people go through. There's a lot of different variables.
Yeah, you right.
That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is what you saying ain't 100% right for every single kid.
Don't forget this though. The child gotta make a choice what they gonna do in the end. You gotta instill it in them. But then they gonna get put to the test.
If they able to stand their ground.
Exactly.
In other words.
Exactly.
You wanna smoke?
Milo stood.
No.
He stood his ground though. Now
Exactly.
he could have succumbed to that and just say, "Hey, this day 8, mom, look, they whoop me every day. I got it.
That's
You
what
know,
I'm
hey, they come at me every day. What I'm gonna do? I gotta fall back and be with them, or
Yeah.
it's what's instilled in you, like you said, but it's still a ground that you gotta stand.
You gotta stand your ground. You don't have to.
Instead of walking, I got put on chess tournaments, basketball teams. So I was able to do all that until I got picked up. So I ain't gotta walk no more. Okay, cool. Are we saying the same thing?
That's what I just said. I agree
Shut
with
up,
you.
man.
He just didn't say everything that you
But
said.
I need him to say he cut me off from this camera. I need him
I
to
did.
say
I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. I still need to help me out with this.
Have mercy on your brother.
I still need to help
Brother.
Man, don't worry about this. I need you to help me out with the rug in the morning though. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But y'all understand that though. You gotta teach the kid. You can't avoid not teaching them.
Yes, sir.
You can't avoid not telling them what to stay away from, but they gotta make a choice in the end. Just like
Yes,
all
sir.
of us as children.
Right.
You got to. It's some that don't try. And then you end up with a monster. Get 2nd Esdras 5 and 8. Because this is a topic we can talk about all day because the youth is suffering. Like here's something that recently happened. You had a sister get killed during a funeral procession. When the cars trailed each other to go bury the body.
Right.
She was going to her brother's funeral.
This is last weekend, right?
Yup.
I seen that. Yeah.
Yep.
That's sad.
What happened? Read.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 5, verse 8.
Somebody in here what happened? I heard somebody say what happened.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that happened last week.
Yes, sir. It happened last week. Read.
There shall be a confusion also in many places.
This is talking about what's going to happen in the last days. We seeing that. Read.
And the fire shall be sent out again. And the wild beasts shall change their places.
Animals not in their habitat they supposed to be in. Read.
And menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
What kind of women that is? It said menstruous women is going to bring forth monsters. What type of women is that? You said side pieces, bops. You say what? IG mamas. What type of children come from them? Wild animals, monsters. Read it again.
And menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
So monsters come from them dysfunctional households, them families with no structure. That's the truth. No parents, and then the parents could be there, but they ain't teaching them nothing. Setting all the bad examples. A monster gonna come forth. When we talk to people, they try to, well, no, you can't. Yes, if you set a bad example, if your son see you smoking, drinking, wilding out, what you think he gonna do? That's all you show him.
Being raised as a monster.
Being raised as a monster. We don't like to deal with at home. Okay, what's the upbringing of that young man? Was anybody working with him? Did anybody try to? They'll cuff a young man and teach him wrong. Anybody try to cuff him and teach him right? Like really, no, you ain't walking over there, I'm finna pick you up. Really instill the time and do that with the young man. And get quiet then. So it starts at home. Read that again. Second Esdras 5, yep.
There shall be a confusion also in many places. And the fire shall be sent out again. And the wild beasts shall change their places. And menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
Get Isaiah 3 and 5. So what happens when the child had that type of upbringing? Read. What's some of the things they do? We finna see what the Bible says.
The book of Isaiah,
What's going on, bro? Isaiah chapter 3,
verse 5. And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another,
It say that people will be oppressed, everyone by another,
and every one by his neighbor.
by his neighbor, by your own people. But who specific? Read.
The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient.
Is that not happening today? Who doing majority of the robberies? It's young men. Who's stealing the Cadillac converters? It's young men. But don't forget what we started at first. Don't forget what we started at first. That upbringing, a monster get made and then he terrorizing. That's what we reading right here.
Everything that's going on being taught by older guys.
Read.
And the base against the honorable.
Get 12, verse 12.
As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Y'all hear that? That's no point. We experiencing that. We seeing that. Children is oppressing the people. But why? Where did it start from? It started at home. They had that bad influence somewhere. And it never got checked. Now they terrorize. Nobody's born like that. You learn these habits from somewhere. Read.
As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
And women rule over them. Plenty households say, oh, we do whatever Big Mama say. Can Big Mama raise a man?
No.
Hell no. I don't. That's not even an argument.
I think she can.
Big Mama's been forced to raise, man.
Right, we ain't talking about the ones that's forced. We talking about a woman sit up here and say, no, get out the way, I got it. You don't got it. It's certain things you cannot teach this young man. I don't care what you read. I don't care who you talk to. He need a male figure to tell him how to be a man.
If I tell you like it ain't no right or wrong way, you know, like you got your own way of parenting, I have my own way of parenting. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no right or wrong way when it comes to parenting. We both in this together. But like I told her, like one time dealing with my son, you know, I understand you want your respect, but you know, and I want my respect. So one day he was pretty much not listening to what she was saying. So I said, hey, look, let me step in. You know what I'm saying? But I want him to understand that. But at the end of the day, you can't raise him. I'm his father. Right. Let me teach him what I want to do. Like you just said. You can't raise him.
That's real.
That's what's
real. That's the truth. That's true. Right.
So when he's stepping in, I see you getting frustrated. Just fall back. Right. I got this. That's what I'm here for. But a lot of women, they don't have men to step up and be independent.
Right. That's why we have Ike Turner.
That's the reason why they are.
Not Ike Turner.
Exactly right.
No, seriously. They got to be able to let you step aside and deal with them. Because let's be true. You ever seen when daddy walk in the room? It ain't got to be daddy. It can be
Get quiet.
because somebody. Everybody acting crazy.
Yeah.
And then when that male figure come in, everybody don't want no problem.
Right.
Don't want a problem.
Mama don't have that. Mama gonna get tried every way.
You're right. You're
So
right.
that's why you need that man in the house. You need that man in the house. Give me Judah 8 and 24. So the young men, they need them examples. Then I'm going to get into the stuff that we supposed to be taught. Believe it or not, these commandments in here, if we kept them, our neighborhoods wouldn't be the way that they is.
It's the book of Judah, chapter 8, verse 24. Now therefore, O brethren, let us show an example to our brethren.
That's what's missing. We talk about the problems, but these young men, have they had good examples? The answer is no.
Thank you, bro.
Read.
Because their hearts depend upon us.
That got to be the mind of the men. Somebody depending on you to be a good role model for them, to show them the right way. Okay, they ain't moving right. How about you show them? The room get quiet then. Like, sir, you probably older than all of us in here.
78 years old.
I knew it. During your time, and I've had this conversation before, during your time, more of the older men were showing brothers how to change tires.
Exactly.
How to do housework, like really showing them skills. Hey, come on, sit right here. Let me show you something, young blood. But now that's gone. You don't have that no more. Even in the high schools, when I was in high school, we had majors, what they call them. Y'all know what I'm talking about with the majors?
Automotive.
Carpentry, culinary.
Took it away from me.
But then by the time I got to senior year, they started cutting them off. So we ain't got nobody teaching us no skills. We ain't got nobody teaching us no life skills. So then what happens?
When they graduate.
We digress. We get worse and worse. Read that.
And the sanctuary and the house and the altar rest upon us.
So we gotta have the mindset, our people depend on us, but most men don't have that mindset. I'm good, my family good. So we gotta learn to care about each other again. We don't have that mindset now.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound.
What's iniquity? Iniquity is sin. That's Jesus Christ talking. He said because iniquity is going to abound, meaning increase. Evil, sin going to increase. What's going to happen in the earth?
The love of many shall wax cold.
Do we got love for each other today?
No.
Them things I was talking about, sir, that your generation used to do, they don't do that no more.
No, I know it. Right. Exactly. You're right.
It's no longer that bridge between the young and the old. Now, I don't know what that young nigga gonna do to me.
That's
He
the
might
way
steal
that's the way I see it now. That's the way I see it. Years ago when I was coming, it wasn't like that.
Exactly.
It wasn't like that. I mean, back in Chicago in the day, I mean, people, you can go anywhere. I mean, you can get on the bus. Young folks used to respect older people. Now they cuss you out, man. They can't say nothing to young folks, man.
You know, I met an older gentleman and he said something blew my mind. He was in a power chair. You know the power chair, the automatic chair?
Yeah.
He said somebody robbed him. I said, what?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Dead ass serious. He said somebody robbed him. So when we read this was true. Christ said that this would happen in the last days. Read it again.
And because iniquity shall abound,
sin gonna increase. Read.
The love of many shall wax cold.
Ain't no love. How you rob a man in a power chair?
Right.
A power wheelchair. Because it ain't no love. The love of many shall wax cold. Be cold-hearted. Now, you skeptical about showing that young man how to change the tire. You might hit you right in the head and steal your tools.
Exactly right. You talking the right thing.
So that's why I say we got to understand both sides. The older generation, they're like, man, I don't know, these brothers too wild. The young generation like, well, don't nobody care about me.
Right.
We all jacked up. Remember, we lost that heritage. So our heritage is God's laws. What's in God's laws? Leviticus 19:17. This ain't talking.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart.
That ain't talking.
No.
The heart right there is talking about your mind. And your mind is where you form hatred at. This thing right here just pump blood. It just pump all day. That's all it's do. You foster hate in your mind. You think about killing in your mind.
Exactly. Not in your heart.
Right. In your mind. That's what that heart talking about right there. That's what's in your mind. Read.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
What that mean? It said, don't hate your brother, but you supposed to rebuke him. What that mean? Show love, but how?
I mean, by the way you move. By teaching my body. Trying to teach them, show love.
Teach them. I'm gonna give you an example, sir, because you got a son, right? Your son do something wrong, and then you get on him. That's you rebuking him. You showing love. We don't correct one another. The mind, right, we used to. The mindset today is, that ain't my family, them ain't my kids, I'm gone.
I'm through with it. Yeah, right.
But during your time,
you
hey,
help each other.
I just
seen your son down the street doing this here, you go down there and you're going to take care of business. You're not going to argue with that person who's saying you can't get. No,
that's what I'm about to say. That's what I'm about to say.
That's, but that's the way it is. That's the way I was brought up. But I don't see that now.
Yeah,
I'm skeptical.
A lot of people don't want you, you know what I'm saying?
They don't say nothing to their kids.
To their kids.
Or they'll snap on you for saying something about it.
Sure.
Like, wait, I just told you your son is stealing. You getting mad?
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. How can you get mad when your son went to jail for murder? This is crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Baby, I'm the only one. Do not.
You talking some sense.
You mad.
Do not. The parents, they go get the picture from kindergarten and he just ran up on somebody with a switch.
Right.
Don't bring the kindergarten picture. He just got caught with a Glock with a switch, and you talking about Well, my baby, he not acting like this in this 4th grade picture, this kindergarten picture. He not this no more.
You know why though?
Go ahead.
Because he a product is a line. Where he at?
How it happened though?
He made a choice.
He didn't make a choice.
He made a
He
choice.
did
What
make a
else?
choice.
He had to make that choice.
What else?
Everybody don't have to make that choice. That's what my law
He
is.
got
You right. Or you can
influence.
get your ass whooped every day.
He got
You
influence.
Some
make that
people
choice to get
choose
whooped
to.
every day.
But some
Everybody, mom and
some
daddy
people
ain't
made
gonna
that
talk
choice
to
then. But some kids made that choice. They rather get their ass whooped
That's
than
true.
submit to what
That
they
is true.
talking
That
about.
is true.
Because my mom and daddy told me that shit ain't right.
That is
So
true.
I'm gonna do this. But I ain't gonna do what they
You
doing.
right about that.
I know what they out there doing. I see it every day.
You right.
So it's still a choice at the end of the day.
That's true.
Now
That's
you
choice.
right.
Once you talk, you ain't got no excuse.
Yeah.
You can't say, well, oh, I didn't know. You was told, don't go
It's all
over there.
about your choice. It's all about what you want to do.
But you gotta be taught. That's the thing. You ain't taught, you already
Everybody know right from wrong.
But basically, if you talk right, no matter what you do out there in the street, it's gonna revert back to this ain't right. You know, because that's the way you was brought up. You know, you can get out there and do this, but some gonna hit you like, no, this ain't right because I wasn't brought up this way. I mean, you know, I know it's streets out there, and I'm not stupid. I've been out here in these streets a long time. You know what I'm saying? But when I grew up, the older people, they ran the street. You know, that's like the gangs back in the day.
Yeah.
They didn't go out and shoot innocent people because they knew exactly who they wanted.
Y'all had a code.
They knew exactly who they wanted. So that's where you would, anywhere in the city, was it on the south side, on 39th Street, 51st Street, it didn't make no difference where you went. Didn't nobody bother you. Because they know exactly who you were and who they wanted to get to. And messing with the old folks was out of question with a street game. Hey, when you did that, you done violated their
No
code.
old people, no kids.
And some kids
No
going
kids,
out.
no old people.
Yeah, you didn't mess with old people.
But today that ain't the case.
Oh, no, man.
Because it ain't no rules. Don't nobody follow the rules.
Don't nobody carry no more. Like you said earlier, don't nobody have no respect no more.
It ain't no more big
gone.
homies.
It's gone.
Everybody, they ain't no big homies.
You ain't even gotta be necessarily from the streets. Respect is gone.
It's gone. Right, exactly.
So that's what we gotta come back to. What we reading right here is how to deal with one another.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example.